Yeah, it's difficult for me to give my view about it. I think it's obvious and clear that the wrong decision has been made, at least in my opinion.
Sorry, Anna, why do you think that?
Because he didn't interfere at all with what the goalkeeper could do. I immediately after the game, someone showed me the goal that what the same referee allowed City against Wolves last season, Wolves against City last season. So it took the linesman 13 seconds to raise his flag to say it's offside. So there was clearly communication. So, but as I said, that could have influenced the game in a positive way for us because in the first half we were so poor. But yeah, a set piece can make a difference, and now we conceded the 2-0 from a set piece, and then that was maybe a fair reflection of the first half, by the way, us being 2-0 down. But that's maybe not where it's about.
Yeah.
He was pretty honest. Robbie Fowler alluding to the law there. Let's remind you of, just a few key words in the law in terms of Law 11, the offside law. The last sentence there, making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. And that is what you're contesting, the wording of that.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't impact the ability of the goalkeeper in this situation to play the ball. He doesn't impact it at all. He's not blocking his view. He's not blocking his dive. He's not. There is nothing that he's doing that's impacting it. So I think you've got a Manchester City fan, you've got a neutral, you've got myself, you've got Robbie Fowler. Everybody is saying the same thing. It's a bad decision, but don't take anything away from Manchester City.
Well, Virgil, there was a sliding doors moment in that game when you had the ball in the net. Obviously, it didn't stand. As you stand here now, do you look back at that, or do you reflect more on how Liverpool played today?
I think in football, obviously, there are key decisions. That obviously happens, and the officials are deciding this, and we have to deal with it on the pitch, both teams. And I think there's no point to discuss this on my point of view. But the reality is that we lost it 3-0, and that's obviously a big blow, definitely.
Before we move on then, have you seen it back? Do you have a view on whether it was a correct or incorrect decision?
It doesn't really matter, I think, what I would say, because if anything I would say would be in the next couple of days in the media, and then the whole international break will be about me saying and commenting on a decision that the referee made. I just rather focus on the fact that we lost here today, 3-0. And but obviously, decisions are key, and today the penalty and the disallowed goal was important decisions in the game. And, that's it. You guys can can debate if it was should have been still or should have been a penalty or whatever.
Comment though on the Liverpool performance. How did that sort of match up to what you expect of yourselves? Never mind us.
Yeah, I think obviously first half was difficult. I think the way they were much more comfortable on the ball in terms of creating an extra overload in the back with Bernardo dropping a lot, and it was difficult obviously for our front guys to get the pressure on them. But I still don't think there was a lot of, danger. Obviously, Doku played a fantastic game, so it was difficult for Connor at times in the 1v1. But obviously, still think we weren't much in trouble. We could have done better, of course, especially in possession. But and obviously, then the decisions in the penalty moment, the momentum shift more to their side, and we had to dig deep. In the second half, obviously, I think we get a little bit more momentum in possession, but our pressing was just not good enough, and the way we did it as a team should have been better. But like I said before the game, it's finding consistency and keep going. And but this obviously losing hurts always, like it should be. That's each and every one of us. But 3-0 especially, and now we go to our countries and stay fit and be ready for a big run after that.
To me, what I'm really disappointed with Liverpool, and the same a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, won the league. The following season, they lacked that intensity of what champions need, because obviously you're up there you're the target and you're the best team. And Liverpool, to me, with that, we can show them little clips and go, yeah, he's swapping up. Yeah, these things happen in the game of football, but when you do have a decision to make, at least do it with some sort
of
intent.
What do you mean? Just going out, but then you
talk to stop the cross.
You talk about champions and all that. Is that then just a mindset? Why would he not be going out there?
Maybe it's his third game in a week and he's not played a lot all season.
But we can again. But it's still early in the game. It's not late in the game, and they were home and they only travelled down the road. Sometimes you make excuses for players travelling across Europe and the intensity of the games. You had a home game down the road, so you want to be careful making excuses. But we'll have the same with the second goal. And people say, "Oh, he can be unlucky with the deflection." It doesn't lack that intensity. I think if you're not at it as a team and you're just a little bit off it, like they are, at least get the basics right. You have to get the basics right, and that is stopping crosses and kind of being difficult to play against.
We'll come to the second goal, Roy, in just a second. But before then, the moment I suppose that Liverpool had to cling to was the disallowed goal. At 1-1, it might well have turned out to be a different game. And Virgil van Dijk gets a clean header on this. And there is interpretation on the law whether this should or should not have been disallowed because of Andy Robertson's position in front of the goalkeeper in this instance. So the goal is disallowed on field. VAR have a look at it, and they agree that he is deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. That's their interpretation. But what about the argument that potentially he sees that all the way?
I think he does see it all the way.
So should it then be disallowed?
I don't think it should have, based on what we can see with our eyes. But the rule book's the rule book. So if the referee is reading that, or someone's in his ear going, "By the way, these are the rules," that angle's not favourable to Liverpool. But I think the other angle is favourable because you can clearly see he's in a fight. His role clearly is to block the goalkeeper. He's in a fight with Doku. This angle here, he's in a fight with Doku. You could argue when he connects with the ball, he can see that. His line of vision isn't impeded by Robertson. It's more impeded by Doku for me. If we're looking at the line of the ball.
You've got to reward also the defensive team. There's a reason they're coming up. They're not leaving people stand on the post to clear their line. They practice this. So he's a yard from the goalkeeper, so he is in his eye line.
Can we just play that last angle one more time? I think the reason why they probably gave it is because he ducked. So if you're a goalkeeper and you're set and you get any movement around you, just look at Robertson. When it comes in here, if you roll it on a little bit more,
and to be clear,
he ducks out the way, so now the keeper's thinking, is he going towards the ball?
I think it's that movement that they are referring to rather than the fact that there's any line of vision which is impeding the goalkeeper in that instance. It's the movement in his direction.
It's a movement. I don't like it.
Have a look at the bottom point here. Making it clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play.
Yeah, and it affects the goalkeeper, because if he's thinking he might get a touch in it, then that affects his movement, surely. And the whole idea of these defenders doing it, they do drills, they come out so they catch people offside. And what they'll say is like, it's interfering with the goalkeeper. Even the fact he's ducking is that obviously puts the goalkeeper off. And if you look at the goalkeeper's reaction, he's very smart, obviously vast experience. He complains straight away. He doesn't wait for the flag. He's saying, listen.
Yeah, Forest at home next for Liverpool. Okay, he didn't want to give his view on it, but he said we can debate it, and we will do, because it was a big moment at 1-0.
Yeah,
he was involved in.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I said my piece at half time. I thought this was a really poor decision. I think the goalkeeper has got a totally clear view as Virgil van Dijk heads the ball. I don't think he affects the goalkeeper. I think if you remove Andy Robertson from the pitch at this stage, the ball goes in regardless. Okay, he has to duck to get out of the way of it, but that doesn't. The goalkeeper's got to dive regardless. The goalkeeper is going to dive regardless. He doesn't affect it in any way, shape or form. He is in an offside position, granted, but when you look at the rule, part of the rule is infringed, let's say, but part of it isn't. And I'm surprised that was given, I must admit. I think it was a poor decision. Now, that's not the excuse for Liverpool losing. Manchester City were the best team, but that would have been 1-1. It would have changed the game, no question about it. And I think it's a poor decision.
Okay, we can now remind ourselves of the wording that the match centre sent out, much to his frustration on a slot. The referee's call of offside, no goal to Liverpool, was checked and confirmed by VAR, with Robertson in an offside position, deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. And you're shaking your head at the wording of that, Michael, because
an obvious action, all right, but that's not a rule. There's a rule that says if you make an action towards the ball, that yes. He's avoiding, he's getting out the way, he's not making a move towards the ball. In fact, there was a goal last season scored at the Etihad in the same fixture that was given, pretty similar. Szoboszlai, yeah, exactly. Well, here we go. Now, what's different in many ways, like Curtis Jones is right in front of the goal there. He's right in front of the goal. The goalkeeper can still see it, as you can see. Now, he's sort of...
If anything, he's further away from the goalkeeper there, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, this goal is given, and of course, you know, all of these goals are down to interpretation, and we can all argue different ways, but you know, as I say, you take Robertson out, that goal goes in, that one there, Szoboszlai, that goes in anyway without him.
Manchester City 2, Liverpool 0, City's biggest half-time lead in this fixture for 5 years, but that does not tell the first half story. Plenty to get through. Right, 9 minutes in, Manchester City penalty. This took some debating and a screen journaling. Did they get to the right decision?
Yeah, I think so. Initially, I didn't see where the contact came from. It was slightly delayed, in my opinion, at first. But then after review, there is a touch on his foot which affects his planting foot onto the floor from the knee there. I don't think he's going to dive if he doesn't get the contact because he's got an opportunity to shoot an open goal.
Mamardashvili, though, with his 6th penalty save since the start of last season in Europe's big leagues.
Big save. Well, at the time it felt like a big save. Yeah, he's got down low. Decent pen, not nothing. You know, I think in terms of power, it's low, it's in the corner. It's a good save. He goes early, goes the right way, and gets a good hand on it. So at that point in time, we thought it was a really big moment in the game. Got his foot just about right on the line from the goalkeeper. Van Dijk touch and go as it is, but doesn't really affect what happens in the end. Yeah, as I repeat, at that moment, it felt like a huge moment in the game, but in the end, it wasn't the biggest one.
Well, he then got his 2nd Premier League goal against Liverpool, although, as you saw right from the off, he didn't know too much about this, did he?
I didn't think he did. I mean, Konate needs to get more on the ball. I mean, again, Liverpool should be closing that cross down. They had ample opportunity. Haaland knows nothing or very little about this. The ball is actually flicked into his head. But here, Van Dijk and Robertson were in the opposite positions. Van Dijk is left back. They have switched. But I still think Robertson's got enough time. Look, the touch is taken here, or Wirtz for that matter, to get out. Robertson backs off again, lets the cross come in. And then, as I say, I don't think Haaland knows much about this. This is flicked onto his head. And his head's down, he's not looking at the ball, it hits the top of his head, actually. It's hard to see in there. That's probably the best one. He doesn't, you can see he's looking to the left of the post there. I don't think he knows much about it, but it flies into the corner.
OK, so that was 1-0 Manchester City. Then Liverpool thought they'd made it 1-1. We'll look at it in a moment. This is what the Match Centre tweet said after the disallowing of that goal and the offside flag went up. The referee's call of offside and no goal to Liverpool was checked and confirmed by VAR, with Robertson in an offside position and deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. Right, you can all have a go. Let's have a look at it. Michael O first.
Thanks. I think it's a bad decision. I think that, of course, Andy Robertson makes an action, but he's not in front of the goalkeeper. He's getting out the way of the ball. When the ball is headed, he's not in the eye line of the goalkeeper. He makes an action. If you take Andy Robertson out, this goal goes in regardless. He doesn't make an action towards the ball. This goal goes in regardless. He's not affecting the goalkeeper in any way, shape or form. I think it's a poor decision. This is the best angle. As he heads it, you can see he's nowhere near the goalkeeper in terms of line of vision. And yeah, he gets out the way of it, but it's going in anyway. That's a goal regardless, whether he's there or not.
City defenders' point of view?
Yeah, as much as I'm pleased it's given offside, I have to agree with Mo there. On the ruling that they've given, I don't think he's in the line of sight. Yeah, you could say Donnarumma has to adjust his position due to Andy Robinson, but Andy Robinson is offside, so he shouldn't adjust his position. Basically, he should just adjust the flight of the ball, and he's not getting there if Andy Robinson isn't.
OK, let me just give you the IFAB ruling of offside. I'm not going to give you it all, don't worry. Stay with us. But the last sentence there is important. Making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball in Law 11. You happy with that?
First four words, yeah, but the rest of it, no way. Doesn't affect the ability for the opponent to play the ball, does it?
No, I think that the only balance I can give is that he's in the vicinity of the goalkeeper as Van Dijk heads it. So
vicinity or in line?
He's definitely not in line.
No.
It's so clear as day he's not in line.
Has he affected the goal, Michael?
I'm with Mo. I think it's going in regardless. I'm just trying to give a balanced view, and I think if he's in that vicinity, to start with, he might affect the goalkeeper to know that he's there, but actually the header itself goes in regardless.
And of course, to compound that, Gonzalez made that 2-0 off Virgil van Dijk, and that makes Liverpool's challenge